Arthur Smith inherited a love of music from his father, a music teacher in Clinton, South Carolina. He could play the trumpet at 6 years old, but soon discovered his talents were better suited for other instruments.
I love the sound of a fiddle and the guitar and banjo, and so I played those instruments. And then by the time I was 12 or 14, I had my own band, Arthur Smith and his Cracker Jacks.
Arthur Smith and his Cracker Jacks started recording music in 1936. Their first hit was Guitar Boogie. Guitar Boogie was released in 1945. It was one of the first hits for MGM Records. The song was the first country single to sell more than 1 million copies. It was #1 on the country charts and then crossed over to pop and R&B.
It was the first long record that had ever been played, but the beat was good and people liked it. So somehow they had a engineer from Germany that was able to tighten the grooves up enough to play the record and put the ending on it that I did. And within about 90 days, this little label in Washington that had never sold any records had sold over 1 million. And
were you surprised?
Oh yes, we were absolutely amazed.
Another one of Smith's most popular tunes, Duel and Banjos, went on to sell more than 20 million copies. It was originally recorded in the 1950s. 20 years later, it was at the center of a landmark copyright violation case. Warner Brothers used the song as the title track for the movie Deliverance, but they didn't properly credit Smith.
The first thing I said to them, I think, was, well, you used one of my songs and it seems like it's doing very well. I said, but you're not paying the tithe on it.
Warner Brothers offered Smith a $15,000 settlement, but he turned them down. He said it wasn't about the money, but principle, and he just wanted what he was due. Arthur Smith spent about $125,000 filing the court case against Warner Brothers, but the judge ruled in his favor, and to date, he's collected over $4.5 million in royalties. Another of Smith's endeavors to win him financial gains and a secure place in history was The Arthur Smith Show. It was the very first nationally syndicated country music-themed television show. The Arthur Smith Show was on the air for more than 30 years. The production attracted the biggest stars from country music and beyond. Some of Smith's guests include Johnny Cash, Roy Orbison, Chet Atkins, and even President Richard Nixon.
And we had a good show. I had a great cast. Tommy Fell was my male singer for 39 years. Maggie Griffin was with me 30-some-odd years, and she was my female singer. Then I had a quartet, a gospel quartet, and that was good. And without overstating, if there was an entertainer or a big personality in the United States that I wanted on the show, I just had to pick up the phone.
It's that easy. They just lined up.
They did.
Smith still writes and performs music. He says he will continue to do so until his last breath.
So long for now. We'll see you. Bye, everybody. Bye.